Good evening, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about a new way of looking at leadership, one that is less about titles and accolades and more about connection, vulnerability, and empowerment. A leadership that's focused on helping others rise rather than simply standing above them. True leadership begins with vulnerability, a concept that often goes against traditional notions of what it means to be a leader. Many people believe that effective leaders should be confident, self-assured, and capable of handling any challenge without showing weakness. Yet, the most impactful leaders are often those who embrace vulnerability. Vulnerability is not about weakness or incompetence. Rather, it is about having the courage to show up as our authentic selves, even in the face of uncertainty or fear. It's the willingness to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, that we make mistakes, and that we are on this journey of growth alongside those we lead. When we as leaders allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create an environment where others feel safe to do the same. Vulnerability builds trust, and trust is the bedrock of any meaningful relationship, particularly in leadership. Without trust, a leader's authority is hollow, and the potential for growth and innovation within a team is limited. Leaders who are vulnerable don't need to have all the solutions because they have already established a space where people are empowered to contribute their ideas, challenge the status quo, and collaborate towards a common goal. By showing vulnerability, we make it clear that perfection is not the standard. This has a profound effect on the people we lead. It gives them permission to be imperfect, to take risks, and to fail without the fear of harsh judgment. When leaders model vulnerability, they shift the culture from one of fear to one of curiosity and resilience. People begin to see mistakes not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and grow. This approach fosters innovation because individuals are more likely to try new things, knowing that they will not be punished for stepping outside their comfort zone. Furthermore, vulnerability helps leaders connect with their teams on a deeper level. In leadership, the connection is what makes the work meaningful. When leaders are open about their struggles and challenges, it humanizes them, making them more relatable. It also signals to their team members that they are not alone in their difficulties, which creates a sense of unity and solidarity. It's through these shared experiences that people find a sense of belonging, which is crucial for engagement and motivation. Ultimately, vulnerability is a key ingredient in creating a culture of empowerment. It allows leaders to demonstrate that it is okay to be human and still lead with strength. It teaches that true power lies in the ability to be open, honest, and transparent, rather than in hiding behind a facade of invincibility. Vulnerability invites others to rise, not because they are told what to do, but because they feel seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are. By embracing vulnerability, leaders create an environment where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, and that is what allows others to rise. Empathy is one of the most powerful tools in leadership. It goes beyond merely understanding another person's feelings or perspective. It requires leaders to truly step into the shoes of others, to experience the world from their vantage point, and to respond with care and respect. In its essence, empathy is about deep connection. It's the bridge that allows leaders to build genuine relationships with their teams. This connection is crucial because it is through empathy that trust is cultivated, and trust is the foundation of effective leadership. Without trust, people do not feel safe to share their thoughts, express their concerns, or take the risks necessary for growth and innovation. When leaders practice empathy, they do more than just listen, they engage with their team members on an emotional level. They seek to understand not only the what, but also the why behind someone's actions, decisions, and behaviors. By doing so, they send a message that everyone's experience and perspective matter. This level of care and attention fosters a sense of belonging, which is vital for creating an environment where people feel valued. When people feel valued, they are more likely to give their best effort, to contribute ideas, and to stay engaged, knowing that their contributions are recognized and appreciated. Empathy also opens up space for honest and open communication. Leaders who listen empathetically are able to identify the underlying issues affecting their team members, whether personal or professional. These issues may not always be immediately apparent on the surface, but with empathy, leaders can tap into what might be hindering performance or morale. By offering understanding and support, they help individuals navigate challenges both in the workplace and in their personal lives. This builds a sense of loyalty and commitment as team members feel that their leader genuinely cares for their well-being. Furthermore, empathy enables leaders to make more informed decisions. Leaders who empathize with the experiences of others are better equipped to anticipate how their decisions will affect the team. This level of foresight allows for a more thoughtful and compassionate approach to problem solving, which in turn fosters a healthier work environment. Rather than making decisions in isolation, empathetic leaders consult their teams, consider their perspectives, and involve them in the decision-making process. This collaborative approach not only strengthens the bond between leaders and their teams, but also leads to more effective and sustainable solutions. At its core, empathy is not about fixing or solving problems for others. It is about being present, offering support, and allowing others to feel heard and understood. Leaders who embrace empathy create an environment where people feel safe to be their authentic selves, to express vulnerability, and to take risks. In such an environment, individuals are empowered to rise to their full potential, knowing that they are backed by a leader who genuinely cares about their growth and success. This dynamic of empathy, trust, and mutual respect is what ultimately allows leaders to help others rise. True leadership is not about positioning oneself as the center of attention or claiming all the accolades for success. Instead, it is about lifting others up, helping them find their own strength, and encouraging them to reach their full potential. This perspective shifts leadership from a model of hierarchy to one of collaboration and empowerment. A leader's role is not to be the star of the show, but to help others shine in their own right. When leaders focus on lifting others, they create a culture of shared success that benefits everyone, not just themselves. Leaders who prioritize the success of others understand that their true impact is reflected in how many people they help succeed. Leadership is not a solitary journey, but a communal one. The more individuals a leader supports in reaching their goals, the stronger the entire team or organization becomes. When leaders pour their energy into developing those around them, they don't just create followers, they create more leaders. By helping others rise, leaders multiply their influence and extend their legacy far beyond their own accomplishments. One of the most powerful ways leaders can lift others is through mentorship. By offering guidance, sharing wisdom, and providing encouragement, leaders can help individuals navigate their own journeys, making sure they have the tools and confidence needed to thrive. When leaders take the time to nurture talent, they do more than just create a workforce. They foster a community of individuals who are equipped and motivated to contribute their best work. This kind of environment encourages people to take risks, step outside of their comfort zones, and pursue opportunities that they might not have considered otherwise. Leaders who focus on lifting others also understand the importance of giving credit where credit is due. True leadership involves recognizing the contributions of others and celebrating their victories, both big and small. When leaders acknowledge the efforts and achievements of their teams, they reinforce a sense of value and belonging, showing that everyone's input is essential to the collective success. This culture of recognition fuels motivation, increases engagement, and strengthens team cohesion. Moreover, by lifting others, leaders foster a sense of shared responsibility and collaboration. Instead of competing for attention or resources, a leader who focuses on helping others rise creates an atmosphere of cooperation where everyone works together toward a common goal. This leads to greater innovation as diverse perspectives are encouraged and valued. A team that works together in harmony is more resilient in the face of challenges and more creative in finding solutions. Ultimately, leadership is about making a positive impact on the lives of others. When leaders focus on lifting those around them, they create a ripple effect that extends far beyond their immediate reach. As individuals rise, they bring others along with them, creating a culture of continuous growth, empowerment, and success. By helping others find their own path to greatness, leaders create a lasting legacy that is defined not by their own achievements, but by the achievements of those they help to elevate. Courageous conversations are at the heart of transformational leadership. These are the conversations that we often avoid, the ones that feel uncomfortable, challenging, or even risky. However, they are also the conversations that hold the potential for growth, healing, and change. Leadership is not about avoiding difficult discussions, but about having the courage to step into them with honesty, empathy, and integrity. It's in these moments that leaders show their true commitment to their team's success and well-being, as well as their own growth. The reason these conversations are so important is that they create clarity, understanding, and opportunities for improvement. Whether it's giving constructive feedback, addressing a conflict, or discussing sensitive issues, courageous conversations allow for transparency and openness. Without them, misunderstandings can fester, problems can remain unresolved, and potential can be stifled. When leaders avoid difficult topics, they may believe they are protecting their team or avoiding confrontation, but in reality, they are doing the opposite. They are preventing the growth that comes from addressing issues head-on and resolving them in a healthy, productive way. Courageous conversations are also an essential part of building trust within a team. Trust doesn't come from avoiding tough discussions or sweeping issues under the rug. It comes from showing up authentically, even when it's uncomfortable. Leaders who engage in these conversations demonstrate that they are willing to be open, honest, and transparent no matter how difficult the topic. This builds trust with the team, as members feel that their leader is not afraid to confront challenges directly. When trust is present, teams can handle adversity more effectively, knowing that they have a leader who will support them through tough times and give them the tools to navigate complex situations. Furthermore, courageous conversations provide opportunities for growth, both for the leader and for the team members involved. Leaders who initiate these conversations create space for others to voice their concerns, share their perspectives, and express their needs. This not only empowers team members, but also helps the leader understand different viewpoints and gain valuable insights that might have otherwise been overlooked. These conversations create a feedback loop where both leaders and team members can grow from the exchange, leading to better decision-making, problem-solving, and collaboration. While courageous conversations may be uncomfortable, they are ultimately a sign of respect. Leaders who are willing to have these discussions show that they care enough to engage with their team at a deeper level. They demonstrate that they value the individual and collective growth of their team, and they are invested in creating a culture where open communication and continuous learning are prioritized. It's through these conversations that leaders can address concerns, align expectations, and clear obstacles that stand in the way of success. By engaging in courageous conversations, leaders create a culture of transparency and accountability. They foster an environment where honesty is valued and everyone is encouraged to speak up, share their ideas, and express their thoughts. This culture of openness allows for innovation, improves morale, and strengthens relationships within the team. Courageous conversations are not just a tool for resolving conflict, they are a key to unlocking the full potential of both individuals and the collective team. Through them, leaders provide the clarity, understanding, and direction needed for everyone to rise. Embracing imperfection and mistakes is one of the most powerful ways to redefine leadership and foster an environment where growth can flourish. In many traditional leadership models, mistakes are often seen as failures, something to be avoided at all costs. Leaders are expected to be infallible, to always have the answers, and to never show weakness. However, true leadership is not about perfection, it's about resilience, learning, and showing others that mistakes are simply stepping stones on the path to success. When leaders embrace imperfection, they model vulnerability, teach valuable lessons, and create a culture where risk-taking and innovation can thrive. The first and most important shift is understanding that mistakes are not a reflection of personal inadequacy. In fact, mistakes are an inevitable part of growth and progress. No one achieves success without encountering setbacks along the way. By acknowledging this reality, leaders show their teams that it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from them. This mindset removes the stigma that often accompanies failure and instead frames mistakes as opportunities for learning, growth, and development. Leaders who embrace their imperfections create an environment where people are not afraid to take risks or try new things. They encourage their team members to step outside of their comfort zones, knowing that mistakes won't result in punishment or ridicule, but will instead be treated as a normal part of the process. Moreover, when leaders own their mistakes, they humanize themselves. Instead of hiding behind a facade of perfection, they show their teams that it's okay to be imperfect. This creates a sense of psychological safety, where team members feel free to admit when they don't have all the answers, or when they've made an error. It opens the door for honest communication, collaboration, and problem solving. A leader who admits their mistakes models accountability, and this helps to foster a culture of responsibility within the team. Everyone becomes empowered to take ownership of their actions and contribute to the team's growth without fear of judgment or failure. The willingness to embrace mistakes also fosters resilience. When setbacks happen, leaders who demonstrate grace and adaptability teach their teams how to recover, learn, and keep moving forward. Resilience isn't about avoiding mistakes, it's about bouncing back from them stronger and more determined. By showing how to handle mistakes with humility and perseverance, leaders teach their teams that setbacks are not the end, but a necessary part of the journey toward success. This kind of resilience builds a strong foundation for both individual and collective growth. Furthermore, leaders who embrace imperfection are able to innovate more effectively. Innovation requires experimentation, and experimentation often leads to failure. Leaders who are afraid of mistakes will avoid taking risks, and as a result, stifle creativity and progress. On the other hand, leaders who view mistakes as an essential part of the process encourage their teams to think outside the box and challenge the status quo. This creates an environment where fresh ideas can flourish and where employees feel empowered to contribute their best work without fear of failure. Empowerment over control is a fundamental shift in the way leadership is approached. In traditional models of leadership, authority and control are often seen as key components of a leader's role. Leaders are expected to maintain order, direct others, and make decisions for the group. However, empowering others is far more effective in fostering long-term success and creating a culture of trust and collaboration. When leaders empower their teams, they move away from micromanagement and move toward providing support, resources, and guidance, allowing individuals to take ownership of their work and contribute meaningfully to the organization's success. One of the most important aspects of empowerment is trust. Leaders who empower others must first trust their team members to make decisions and take action. This trust is foundational because without it, a leader may find themselves constantly checking in, overseeing every detail, or second-guessing decisions. This not only creates frustration and disengagement, but also stifles creativity and innovation. When leaders trust their teams, they allow individuals to use their judgment, solve problems, and take ownership of their work. This results in a more motivated and engaged workforce, as team members feel that their contributions are valued and that they are trusted to make a difference. Empowerment also means providing the right resources and support for team members to succeed. It's not about stepping back and leaving people to figure everything out on their own. Instead, it's about giving individuals the tools, knowledge, and encouragement they need to excel in their roles. Leaders who empower their teams ensure that people have access to training, development opportunities, and a clear understanding of expectations. They are also available for guidance, feedback, and coaching when needed. This kind of leadership creates an environment where individuals feel confident in their abilities and are encouraged to take on new challenges, knowing they have the support they need to succeed. An empowered team is also one that is encouraged to be innovative and take risks. When leaders focus on empowering others, they create a culture where experimentation is valued and failure is seen as a natural part of the learning process. Rather than fearing mistakes or setbacks, team members are motivated to explore new ideas, push boundaries, and find creative solutions to problems. This leads to greater innovation and a more adaptable team that is capable of responding to challenges with resilience and resourcefulness. Empowered individuals are not confined to rigid roles or tasks. They are encouraged to think critically, collaborate with others, and contribute to the organization's growth in meaningful ways. Moreover, empowerment fosters a sense of autonomy and ownership. When leaders give their team members the authority to make decisions, it instills a sense of pride and accountability. Individuals who are empowered feel that they are integral to the success of the organization, and they take personal responsibility for their work. This not only boosts morale, but also increases productivity, as employees are more likely to invest their time and energy into tasks when they feel ownership and a sense of purpose. Empowered teams are more self-sufficient, proactive, and motivated, which leads to greater overall success. Ultimately, empowering others rather than controlling them is what allows individuals and teams to truly flourish. When leaders trust their teams, provide the right resources, and encourage risk-taking and innovation, they create a culture where everyone can rise to their full potential. This kind of leadership is not about exerting power over others, but about creating an environment in which others can discover their strengths, contribute their ideas, and take ownership of their success. Empowerment leads to greater collaboration, more creative solutions, and higher engagement, all of which are essential for achieving long-term success. Leadership is fundamentally about fostering a sense of belonging within a team or organization. When people feel like they belong, they are more engaged, motivated, and willing to contribute their best work. The key to creating an environment of belonging lies in the leader's ability to build connections, create an inclusive culture, and make every team member feel seen, valued, and respected. A sense of belonging is not just about physical presence within a group, but about feeling emotionally and psychologically connected to the people around you and the work you are doing. One of the first steps in creating belonging is building strong relationships. Leaders who take the time to connect with their team members on a personal level, to understand their strengths, challenges, and aspirations, create a culture where people feel genuinely cared for. When leaders show an authentic interest in their team's well-being and invest in developing meaningful relationships, they create an atmosphere of trust and support. This trust is essential because when people feel safe and supported, they are more likely to open up, share ideas, and take risks. The foundation of belonging is built on these connections, where individuals know that they are part of something larger than themselves. In addition to building relationships, inclusive leadership is critical to fostering a sense of belonging. An inclusive leader actively works to ensure that everyone feels welcomed, respected, and valued regardless of their background, identity, or experiences. This means recognizing and addressing biases, actively listening to diverse perspectives, and ensuring that everyone has equal opportunities to contribute. Leaders who prioritize inclusion create a space where differences are celebrated, not ignored, and where everyone's voice is heard and valued. When people feel included, they are more likely to contribute their unique perspectives, which leads to better decision-making and innovation. Creating belonging also involves making people feel that they have a purpose within the team. Leaders who help their team members see the value of their contributions and connect their work to the broader mission of the organization empower individuals to feel that they are making a meaningful impact. When people understand how their work fits into the larger vision, they feel a greater sense of ownership and pride in what they do. Leaders who communicate purpose and align individual goals with team or organizational objectives help foster a sense of belonging by giving people a reason to care about their work and their place within the team. Furthermore, leaders who foster belonging create an environment where vulnerability is safe. When people feel like they belong, they are more likely to be open about their challenges and mistakes, knowing that they will not be judged or excluded for showing imperfection. This openness leads to stronger collaboration, as team members feel free to share ideas, ask for help, and work through problems together. In such an environment, people are less likely to feel isolated and more likely to feel supported in their personal and professional growth. Ultimately, leadership is about creating a space where everyone can bring their authentic selves to work. Leaders who prioritize belonging create a culture of mutual respect, where people feel empowered to contribute, collaborate, and thrive. When people feel like they truly belong, they are more engaged, more productive, and more committed to the success of the team and the organization. The role of the leader is not to impose a sense of belonging, but to create the conditions in which belonging can naturally flourish. By building strong relationships, embracing inclusion, and helping people connect to a greater purpose, leaders foster an environment where everyone feels valued and able to rise to their fullest potential. Creating a culture of feedback is one of the most powerful ways to nurture growth and development within a team. Feedback, when given and received effectively, has the potential to drive improvement, inspire motivation, and strengthen relationships. It fosters an environment of continuous learning, where individuals are not only able to improve their performance, but also gain clarity on their strengths and areas for development. However, for feedback to be truly effective, it needs to be part of a broader culture that encourages openness, vulnerability, and mutual respect. Leaders who foster a culture of feedback create an environment where individuals feel safe to both give and receive feedback without fear of judgment or repercussion. In such an environment, feedback is not seen as criticism, but as a valuable tool for personal and professional growth. It is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and become better at what we do. When leaders model this mindset, it becomes easier for team members to view feedback as a gift rather than something to be feared. Leaders who embrace feedback themselves by actively seeking input on their own performance demonstrate that feedback is not just for the team, but is essential at every level. A culture of feedback also encourages transparency. When feedback is given constructively and with the intent to help others improve, it opens the door to more honest communication. Team members are more likely to engage in open, candid conversations because they know their leader will listen, understand, and respond thoughtfully. This transparency builds trust within the team as individuals feel heard and valued. It also strengthens relationships as feedback creates opportunities for connection and understanding. When feedback is part of the culture, it becomes a two-way street where both leaders and team members benefit from the exchange. Another key element of a feedback-rich culture is regularity. Feedback should not be reserved for annual performance reviews or only when issues arise. To be truly effective, feedback needs to be ongoing and integrated into daily or weekly interactions. Leaders who make feedback a regular part of their communication with team members create an environment where continuous improvement becomes the norm. Regular feedback helps individuals stay on track, make adjustments in real time, and celebrate small wins along the way. It also prevents minor issues from growing into larger problems by addressing them before they escalate. Additionally, a culture of feedback encourages accountability. When feedback is part of the team's fabric, individuals are more likely to hold themselves and each other accountable for their actions and performance. The openness to feedback cultivates a sense of responsibility as individuals understand that they are not only accountable to their leader, but to their peers as well. In such an environment, team members actively support each other in their growth, celebrating successes and offering constructive guidance when needed. Accountability combined with support creates a culture where everyone is invested in the success of the team. Leaders who prioritize feedback also create a culture that values growth over perfection. In environments where feedback is welcomed, mistakes are seen as part of the learning process. Feedback helps individuals understand what worked, what didn't, and why. This focus on growth encourages risk-taking and innovation, as individuals feel safe to try new ideas without the fear of failure. They know that if something doesn't work out, they will receive feedback that will help them adjust and try again. Ultimately, a culture of feedback is one that values continuous improvement, accountability, and open communication. It is a culture where learning is prioritized over perfection, and where every team member has the opportunity to grow. Leaders who cultivate this environment enable their teams to thrive as they empower individuals to take ownership of their development and support each other in their journey toward excellence. Through the regular exchange of constructive feedback, teams become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of rising to new challenges and achieving greater success. Vulnerability in leadership is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful tools a leader can possess. Embracing vulnerability allows leaders to connect with their teams on a deeper level, foster trust, and create a culture of openness. Leaders who are willing to show vulnerability not only humanize themselves, but also encourage others to be authentic, share their struggles, and take risks. When vulnerability is embraced, it opens the door to stronger relationships, more honest conversations, and a greater willingness to learn and grow together. Leaders who show vulnerability create an environment where team members feel safe to express their own challenges and concerns. Instead of presenting a perfect, unflappable image, these leaders admit when they don't have all the answers or when they've made mistakes. This openness fosters a culture of authenticity where people are not afraid to admit their vulnerabilities, whether it's asking for help, acknowledging a mistake, or sharing uncertainty about the future. When leaders model this kind of openness, they create a safe space for others to be honest, which strengthens trust and deepens relationships. By being vulnerable, leaders also invite collaboration. When leaders express their own doubts or admit when they don't know something, it encourages team members to contribute their own ideas, knowledge, and expertise. It becomes a reminder that leadership isn't about having all the answers, it's about creating an environment where everyone's input is valued. Leaders who embrace vulnerability break down the walls of hierarchy and invite diverse perspectives, fostering a sense of unity and shared responsibility. Vulnerable leaders don't position themselves as the sole authority, but as part of a collaborative effort where everyone's voice matters. Vulnerability also strengthens resilience. When leaders are open about their struggles or challenges, they model resilience for their teams. They show that it's okay to experience setbacks and that overcoming obstacles is a part of growth. Rather than hiding failures or pretending everything is going smoothly, vulnerable leaders acknowledge difficulties and share how they plan to overcome them. This not only creates a culture where setbacks are seen as learning opportunities, but also builds a sense of community. When team members witness their leaders' resilience, they are more likely to approach their own challenges with the same mindset. Furthermore, vulnerability encourages emotional intelligence and leadership. Leaders who are willing to show their authentic selves are often more in tune with their emotions and the emotions of others. They can more easily empathize with their team members and respond in a way that is compassionate and supportive. This emotional intelligence builds stronger bonds and helps leaders navigate difficult conversations with sensitivity and care. Vulnerable leaders are not afraid to express emotions such as empathy, gratitude, or concern, creating an environment where emotional expression is normalized and supported. By embracing vulnerability, leaders not only foster stronger relationships and trust, but they also create a culture of growth and learning. Vulnerability encourages curiosity, innovation, and experimentation because individuals feel empowered to step outside their comfort zones without fear of judgment. When vulnerability is encouraged, failure becomes less daunting because it is understood as a natural part of the learning process. Leaders who embrace this approach create a space where creativity can thrive, and where team members are not afraid to take risks, knowing they will be supported and guided through the process. Ultimately, vulnerability in leadership is a strength, not a weakness. It enables leaders to build trust, foster collaboration, and create an environment where individuals feel valued and heard. When leaders embrace vulnerability, they create a culture where authenticity, learning, and resilience can flourish. Rather than being seen as a barrier to success, vulnerability becomes a powerful tool for building stronger teams and achieving greater collective success. Through vulnerability, leaders demonstrate that it's okay to be imperfect, to ask for help, and to grow from every experience, creating a lasting impact on the team and the organization. growth comes from pushing boundaries and stepping out of comfort zones. Leaders who encourage their team to take risks and experiment without the fear of punishment or blame help to build a culture of innovation. They provide the necessary support and guidance to help their team members learn from their failures, reflect on their experiences, and improve moving forward. This creates a culture where learning from mistakes is valued and where people feel empowered to try new ideas without fear of retribution. In this type of leadership, success is measured by the collective growth of the team, not by individual accolades. The focus is on creating an environment where everyone feels supported and valued, and where individuals are encouraged to pursue their own growth while also contributing to the success of the group. Leaders who help others rise are not concerned with being the central figure in their team's success. They are more interested in fostering a collaborative, empowering environment where everyone has the opportunity to shine. Ultimately, leadership is about helping others become the best version of themselves. Leaders who adopt this approach understand that their role is to guide, support, and empower their team, not to stand at the front and take all the credit. By investing in the growth of others, leaders create a sustainable culture of excellence where everyone has the chance to rise and reach their full potential. Through this selfless approach to leadership, the success of the team becomes a reflection of the leader's ability to nurture, inspire, and elevate those around them. In conclusion, redefining leadership is about shifting from a model of control and authority to one that prioritizes connection, growth, and empowerment. True leadership is not about being perfect or having all the answers, but about showing vulnerability, embracing mistakes, and helping others rise to their fullest potential. It's about building a culture where feedback is welcomed, innovation is encouraged, and every individual feels valued and capable of contributing. Leaders who empower others, create belonging, and foster resilience inspire their teams to achieve not just personal success, but collective greatness. By focusing on lifting others up, we create an environment where everyone can thrive, innovate, and ultimately achieve more together than we ever could alone. Leadership is not about the leader, it's about the people they inspire and the positive impact they help create. Because when we focus on helping others rise, we redefine leadership. We create a culture of empowerment, growth, and connection, one where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you.